Real quick before the video begins, I just want to clarify something that I messed up on in this video is when I'm talking about tables in guild halls, tier 4 tables only seat 4 people, so you need 3 tables for a tier 4 guild hall. Alright, in the video I mentioned it's only 2 tables, but that is wrong. The actual correct amount of tables is 3. Thank you, enjoy the video. Swole Benji here. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about housing and how it works, how to build houses, and my housing plans. So all of my islands are filled with tier 5 houses and guild halls. Those are personal islands and guilds that I own on several alts that allow me to stack mercenaries and allow me to grow the mercenaries so that I can sell them later. Just 3 mercenaries at tier 5. These take 10 days to make and they generate 174k. Now, you can only have 3 mercenaries per tier 5 house, and today I'm going to do a strategy where I teach you how to build tier 4 houses, which can hold up to 2 laborers per house. They cost about 5 times as less as a tier 5 house. So this is the economic superior way to do laborers. Now, as far as guild islands go, I advise all new players to make their own guild so that they can have their own guild island so they can grow up to 15 laborers at a time. And there is no smaller labor limit for tier 4 guild halls, which are extremely cheap. They're like 25 times cheaper than a tier 5. And you don't have to have a tier 5 to grow a tier 5 laborer. You can actually grow a laborer all the way to tier 8. It's just that you can't use the furniture that's tier 5, you can't use their services above the tier of the house. And what I mean by that is these are blacksmiths. Now, I don't actually do any blacksmithing, I just use generalist journals to level these guys up. But if you were a blacksmith, you can only give them up to tier 5 journals in this tier 5 house, because they wouldn't take a tier 6 journal without a tier 6 house and tier 6 bedding, if that makes sense. But you can just give them tier 4 generalist journals and they'll give you these little trophies, which helps with happiness. They're not really worth anything, but they still level up from generalist trophy journals. And beds, well, if you don't know what a bed and a table is, I'm going to explain later in this video when we get to the construction part. I just wanted to show off the deconstruction part and how much money I spend on just one tier 5 house and how much money you're going to spend and save on a tier 4 house instead. So right now I have 1.7 million worth of loot. That's just from the laborers and furniture. And if we loot this, that's another 200,000. This is going to be another million when it deconstructs. So let's pick up the laborers on this side here. And I'm sorry for the longer kind of form of video. I know you guys like the shorter ones for guides, but I wanted to demonstrate this entire process. I'm not going to actually show clips of me demolishing every single house. I just wanted to show you that I'm going to go through this process of taking everything out of the houses and demolishing them. And when you demolish a house, you don't get all the resources back. You get like 4/5 of the resources back. So this one should demolish in 10 seconds, and I will show you that. And this one's going to just completely fill up my carry weight. I have the ghost boar, I've got the 8.3 boots and an 8.3 bag for carry weight, and it's still not enough to carry an entire guild hall back with me, right? Look at that. I'm overloaded big time. But now I'm carrying 3.3 million in goods. So I'm gonna go to my main island's chest, my main guild island, and I'm gonna put everything in. And then when I get back to you guys, I'm going to show you just how much resources are in this chest. Alright, so right now I've already done 2 guild islands, sort of. So right now there's 7.81 million in there. And we're just going to dump everything in there. And when we rebuild these houses, we won't need the granite blocks. These are all going to be sold. All of the tier 5 beds and tables will be sold. So this is straight profit. And I will be able to make up the slack on the tier 4 blocks. Like, look, a 999 stack of tier 4 blocks is 118k. Now a tier 5 is 1 million. It's 10 times more expensive to go from tier 4 to tier 5. And this is why today I'm teaching you guys, the newer players, the players that haven't gotten into housing yet, and laborers, just how cost efficient this is, okay? Like, one house will cost you maybe 150,000 silver, which sounds like a lot, but within 10 days, it will make you 750,000 silver every 10 days forever, just for playing the game, just for doing dungeons and farming and anything else in the game. Generalist trophy journals, which are these things, they fill up when you do anything in the game, when you craft, when you kill monsters, when you... anything that gives you fame, even building a house. Like, I'm going to wear these when I build houses, and it's going to give me fame and fill these up, okay? So I'm going to cut back to the part where I have deconstructed every single one of my islands, and I have it all in this chest, assuming this chest can fit it all, and I will show that off, so be right back. Alright, and I am back. It's been a few days now. It's been just a few days, and I've deconstructed every house and guild island I have, except for, like, 3 houses, because they still have laborers that are just about to hit tier 8 on levels, and I don't want to rip them from their house, because if you remove a laborer before they level up, they have to start all over again, and they're so close. Alright, so here's all the materials from all the islands and all the guild islands I've deconstructed. You can see it's really not too much stone. It's only like three-ish stacks of rough stone. If you did the tutorial video, then you would know the value of one of these stacks. Ooh, bandit assault. Look at all the rough logs, though. That's a lot of rough logs. Now, I'm going to be rebuilding these houses, but I'm only going to be building them up to tier 4. So these stacks of 999 granite blocks, which are worth $1 million each, are going to be sold, okay? And I bought these a long time ago, and I looked at my ledger because I keep a little journal of everything I've ever bought in the game when I do major purchases, and I bought these at 680,000 a stack, right? And now they're worth $1 million. So I've been sitting on these houses for a little under a year, and they've went up by 400,000. So this is all money made. Now, when I deconstruct a house, you don't get as much materials back either. But even then, this more than makes up for it, so I am not operating at a loss. And because I already have the materials from the house, we should be able to start construction right away. Also, do note that the tier 5 beds here, I'm going to sell those. And the tier 5 tables, I'm selling those. These are 144 blacksmiths. Now, you can get these to tier 5 in 10 days. In 10 days, they only cost 1,000, so 144 times 1,000 would be 144,000, right? Pretty sure that is. Let me just do the math and make sure I'm not going to embarrass myself and save myself a comment. Times 1,000. Yeah, 144,000 silver is what it cost to put these in the houses. And 10 days later, giving them journals that you get back, which is basically free. They're worth 8 million, 8.6 million. So that's being sold. I don't know, why are those logs down there? Let's sort that. Okay, now it's all pretty. I'm putting these back in the houses. These are absolutely worthless. I mean, they show that they have a value, but if you take one, it's 156 silver. Like, whoop-de-doo, that's one gold pile, one silver pile off the ground. It's very cheap, very easy. These are mercenary trophies. They're a little more expensive, 1,500. So yeah, but almost no one ever sells or buy them because mercenaries are worthless. These are tier 8 mercenaries that I was leveling in my house. So I'm holding on to these until they're buffed. I have a whole chest over here with a ton of them. Where are they at? Yeah, there we go. I've got 108 and 72. I need to level these to tier 8, or I don't really need to, honestly. You can use a high tier in a low tier house. Like if I have a tier 4 house and I put a tier 8 mercenary in it, it'll still operate just fine. Like I can still use these, right? So anyway, let's get started to the part where I teach you how to build a house. Okay, so to build a house, we're gonna build a guild hall first. All newbies, I've taught you in my videos before. If this is the first time you're watching a video from me, every new player, I recommend that you press G and you make your own guild. Okay, when you press G, you can make your own guild, and then you go to town and you go to the island vendor and you buy a guild island. And when you buy a guild island, you have this giant plot of land you can use. So you're gonna press H. And you're going to click the little house icon, and then you're going to click Guild Hall. It's going to tell you that you need these materials to build it, and 100 silver. You're going to click Build, and you're just going to plop it down, so that's 100 silver. Now, when you click on it, it shows you what resources you need. So I need rough logs, I need rough stone, and I need limestone block. All right. So we're going to come here, and we're just going to get a bunch of stone. Limestone block. We're going to pick some of that up, too. So we have pretty much a stack of everything. Let's get some more logs. So we're going to need those, pretty sure. I'm going to click it, and now that I have 150 logs, I'm going to click the plus, and that's going to give it to the building, and then click this rough stone here. That's going to give it to the building, and then click this, and then construction complete. It is now a tier 2. Now, because this is a tier 2 building, it looks pretty crappy, right? But at this point, you can put up to 7 laborers inside, right? That's not too bad, but we're going to hit upgrade because we want tier 4. So we hit upgrade. Now it's going to say we need these resources. We're going to click begin, and now we can feed it rough logs, rough stone, and sandstone blocks. Now, one reason I tell newbies that they should... Oh, I didn't have enough on me. Let's go get some more then. I must have grabbed the small stack. Another reason I tell newbies to start in Bridgewatch is because Bridgewatch has the cheapest stone in the game. You can farm this yourself. It doesn't take too long, maybe a couple hours, but Bridgewatch has the cheapest stone because it is the stone like gathering and refining place. So we're going to upgrade that. Now it's tier 3, and I'm stuck inside. Looking a little better. Now that it's tier 3, it can hold up to tier 3 laborers. You can put a tier 8 in, but it won't do tier 8 work. Okay? And we can see now that the labor count is still 10. All right, we're going to upgrade it again to tier 4. And we're going to hit begin, and we're going to give it the tier 4 materials. And I didn't see what my cost was, unfortunately, but here we go. Now it's tier 4. All right, now that it is tier 4, we can hold still 10 laborers. At this point, if you were to upgrade to tier 5, you need 900 granite blocks. Remember, a stack of 999 costs $1 million. Okay, but let's see how much. Hold on. Let's see how much a stack of travertine blocks cost. Spoilers, it's about 100,000, but let me make sure. Let me see here. One stack is 120k. So it's almost 10 times as expensive to go from tier 4 to tier 5. Okay. So now that we have our tier 4, which I'm not going to upgrade this past tier 4. Like the money that it costs, just to me, it's not worth it. And I mean, I'm an established player. So here's what you should do now. Okay, so when you click this little note on the wall, this shows you a hire laborer screen. Now, unless you're actually crafting or gathering, you should ignore everything except fletchers, tinkerers, blacksmiths, and sometimes imbuers. Imbuers are sometimes good. You have to check the market for which one is the best, okay? But I usually just pick one and go with it. I don't really bother. So tinkerers, imbuers, fletchers, and blacksmiths. Not fishermen, that's a gathering one. Not mercenaries, those take way too long to pay for themselves. And unless you're doing lots of dungeons and you have lots of land, don't do mercenaries. They are not worth it. I only did it because I'm waiting for them to be buffed, and when they get buffed, I'm going to cash out. Okay? The rest, like a gamekeeper, that's leather, that's skinning. Cropper is is cloth harvesting. Prospector is stone mining. I'm sorry, prospector is metal mining. Stonecutter is stone mining, and lumberjack is tree chopping. Okay? So we're going to go and we're going to click Novice Blacksmith. We're going to click Hire. It costs 987 silver, right? All right. So now we have this little bag icon, right, on our left click. And we're just going to... You can put them anywhere in your house. We can put up to 10 of these bad boys, right? I'm just gonna put them in this little corner here, just right there. And it's going to do a little hammering animation. And then here we go. This is our laborer. This is our tier 2 laborer named Eunice Bowie. Now, when you put down the laborer, they will not be ready for 30 minutes. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and furnish this real quick. And that's another thing I want to talk about. Well, let me deposit all this. Now, building a house is the same way. I guess I could show you how to build a house. Let me grab that and grab that for now. Again, you push H, you click this, and you'll click house. Now, if you have private islands or an upgraded guild island, you can place houses down. It's the same way. You find the little empty plot, and then you plop down the house, and then you click it. You click the little pluses, just like I talked about earlier. You click the board here. You click upgrade, and same deal. And that will... Well, I didn't grab enough of the tier 3s, but you... Here, let's just go ahead and finish what we started here. Oh yeah, there we go. And then again, we're going to upgrade to tier 4. Now, houses don't have as many laborer slots. I don't know why the little thing on the wall switches, but we can have 2 laborers in a tier 4 house, okay? And the cost of a house versus the cost of a guild hall. Guild halls are the better deal, and the only reason is because they require less furniture, okay?
Because the houses, you still require furniture, but you kind of overbuy on furniture for just houses. This is why it's cheaper, more cost efficient just to get a bunch of guild islands, make a bunch of alts, make a guild, give them permissions to your main character, and then build guild halls instead of houses. But I have private islands, and I have upgraded guild islands, so I put houses as well, just because it makes it more efficient whenever I turn in the journals. Okay, so let's go and talk about furniture. Now, there's two things you can do for furniture, okay? Let me just explain how furniture works exactly. Laborers need something called happiness, okay? Happiness, you get it from trophies, generalist trophies, and a specialized trophy. Now, tinkerers, fletchers, blacksmiths, and imbuers, they don't have a specialized trophy, so they can only use generalist trophies. And I'll talk about that in a sec, but let's go to the toolmaker here. So in town, you see this little icon, it's like a hammer. It's a hammer and a metal spike. Okay, these are called the toolmakers. I think I'm at the cheapest one. I don't know which one's cheapest. I'm not gonna worry about it. Alright, 31%, cheap enough. Okay, so you're gonna click on furniture here, and you'll see that there are beds and tables. Because the house needs, it can have 2 laborers. Each laborer needs their own bed, okay? They don't like to share beds. As cool as that would be, because most of the laborers are female, but... So, each house can hold 2 tier 4 laborers, and the guild hall can hold 10 tier 4 laborers. So we need, for what we just built, we need 12 of these guys, right? You can see that it requires wood and cloth. Now, here's the trick. Here's the trick to save money, because right now, if we just buy the bed, it's probably about 6,000 or 7,000. But if you make a new character and you just power it through the tutorial and you use that 3-day premium, you can come here and use your focus. It's only 500 focus per craft to craft the bed and make it 80% cheaper than just buying it from the market, okay? Or you can use your own focus. I don't recommend you ever use your own focus for this because it doesn't give you anything. Like you don't make your character level up any faster by doing it. So it's kind of wasted in the sense of your main character who should be leveling something while using your focus. Now, for me, I need to buy about 200 something beds and 180, 60 something tables. And I already did the math earlier, so I'm going to go to category, I'm going to go to furniture, and then I'm going to go to bed. And I'm going to go to tier and tier 4. So a tier 4 bed is 8590 with an average market value. I need to find a stack of 1. Average market value of 6,471. So they're a little expensive right now on Bridgewatch. However, beds are heavy. So if you wanted to go to another town and then try to warp back, it would cost you even more. In this case, here, let's just buy 2 beds for the video's example. I'm going to use my focus alts like I talked about and get this for 80% off, okay? So 2 beds, 17k, right? 17k minus 80% would be... Hell, I ain't doing the math. I ain't worried about it. We're not done yet. We need a table. So we're going to go to table. And a table can... Here's the thing with the furniture. Okay, that's 14,000. Average price, let me find a stack of 1, is 12k. So I'm overbuying still. But that's okay. We're alright. I'm not too worried about it. Oh, and while you're here, I already have them, but you would go to... where? Yeah, you go down here to trophies. And you would go to general trophy, right? And you're going to buy... You need... Each trophy can serve up to 3 laborers. So for a tier 4 house, you need 1 of each. And for a guild hall, you need 4 of each. Okay? So you're going to buy... Because we're just doing the house, so I'm going to buy... I would buy 1 tier 2, then I'd buy 1 tier 3, and then 1 tier 4. And they're super cheap. They're extremely cheap. Right? But I already have them because I took them out of my old houses, so... that's why I didn't buy them that time, okay? And those aren't things you can't craft. The only way to get those naturally, like if there was no more market anymore, you would have to give a generalist trophy journal to your laborer, and then they would return with one of those. So, and you could put these wherever you want in the house. So I'm just gonna position the pillow against the wall. That's how I do it. That's just my choice. I like to put the beds here in the corner. Okay, so... That way they all line up and stuff. So now we got 2 beds for our 2 laborers, and then I like to put the table. Wow, the tier 4s are so tiny. I just put it against the wall. Now, like I said, a table can seat 6 laborers. So this means that for a house, because you can only have 2, you still need the table. Like, it doesn't, they won't share houses, right? For the guild hall, you would need 2 tables for 12, but you can only have 10 laborers, right? And then once you hit tier 5, if you ever make tier 5, I just demolished all my tier 5s to make them tier 4 to save the money. You would use 3. It would be 15 beds, 3 tables. Anyway. So, let me, oh yeah, that's right. The generalist trophies. So here we go. A tier 2, a tier 3, and a tier 4. You just put them anywhere. So you just take it. I'm just gonna place it right there. It's just a little book. Okay, and then I'm gonna place another one. And there we go. And because 1 trophy journal makes 3 laborers happy at a time, 1 bed makes 1 laborer happy at a time, and 1 table makes 6 laborers happy at a time per household per guild hall, okay? And it is sold again. Alright. So now we get our laborers, and I'm going with blacksmiths. This is a blacksmith island. Island of the blacksmiths. Alright. I'm going to put that there. And get another one. And put that there. Then, because I'm not a blacksmith, I won't be giving them blacksmith journals, okay? I will be giving them generalist trophy journals. Now, those are tier 2, those are tier 2 laborers, which means they can only use a tier 2 generalist trophy journal. Let me pull up my ledger because I have it timed how long it takes for these guys to level up, alright? Make sure that's not on my screen, and it is not. Good. Okay, so to level up from tier 2 to tier 3 is 1 day, so they just need 1 journal. And you can fill these journals up doing anything, okay? You can, like, I fill them up doing dungeons, you can fill them up doing crafting, you can fill them up even doing construction, which I should have had these in my inventory when I was building the guild hall, but oops, oh well, it's just a little bit of fame, it's not a big deal, right? Let me just scroll through my ledger here. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah, on day 2, they're all tier 3. And then by day 5 or day 6, they're all tier 4. And then by day 10, all of them but 1 out of several hundred were tier 5. And when they hit tier 5, that's when you sell, okay? Now, you can still level your laborers up in a house that isn't higher than their tier. It just takes a long time because you're giving them a tier 4 journal. You can't give them a tier 5 journal until the house is tier 5. And eventually they'll hit tier 8 over time, but it's really tiny. It's like 1 or 2%, a day. So it's hundreds of days. But if you feed them, a tier 7 or tier 8, of course they would level faster. But I found that tier 5 and tier 6 is the sweet spot for selling laborers because that's the ones that have the fastest movement and they sell for the most, okay? And that's why I'm telling you to build up your islands and sell laborers. You're not selling the journal. You are not selling the generalist trophy journals. No. Now, this is their happiness meter, this little sad face and this little happy face, and when it's fully furnished, it will be much higher. And the way happiness works is it's a percentage return, but because you're doing generalist trophy journals just to level them, it gives them a percentage to get double the experience per day. You don't get double, I mean, you might get double trophy journals. I don't know, I throw them away. Or I don't throw the journals away, I throw the trophies themselves away. Anyway, the happier they are, the more experience they gain, and the faster they will level up. So, all you gotta do is fill a ton of islands with houses, and that is passive income while you do everything else in the game. And then here's like one of my islands. This is a maxed out tier 5 island. These 2 houses still have laborers being leveled, and then there's some farmland. So you feed all your laborers, and there's a lot of junk on here. Also, one building plot is, this is a butcher. I don't actually use it to butcher though. I go in here, and I use this as a money mule to deposit and withdraw silver. Okay, it says I didn't have access rights, but if I go here I can hit claim because it is my building on my island. And you can see here's a bunch of alt characters that use the island. They're all my accounts, no one else's. And then, of course, you would utilize your farmland, which I like to do herbs. Right now, I'm lending my island out, so this is someone else's herbs. These are not mine. So, yeah, let's see if he put anything in the gift box. He did not. Ooh. No, it's okay. He's a lad. I don't care. just trying to make fun here. Okay, and that's how to use your islands, and how to build houses, and how to profit from your houses and your islands. I'm Soul Benji. Thanks for watching. As always, be a bro and stay swole, and make sure you return your shopping carts, and I'll see you in the next one. I know this video was kind of long. I didn't mean for it to run on so long, but I wanted to explain every little detail for you guys, because a lot of you are confused with how this housing stuff works. And if you want, well, this video is going to be uploaded way in the future because I'm filming it 2 weeks ahead. There's going to be a sale on granite blocks. I wonder who's going to cash in. All right, lads, take care.